What's going on, guys? It's me, Business Gamer, back again with another video today. Just before I get into this topic of innovation, I just want to say thank you so much. On my About page, I just looked, I've hit over 400 views and I've gained 5 subscribers, but everyone's got to stop somewhere, so please carry on liking, sharing, and hopefully subscribing. Thank you so much. Today, I just want to talk about innovation. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, you can see I've put Injustice 2 gameplay over it because that is truly a game that I think has innovated quite well and changed over Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 and innovated in a good way. I'll get into that later. Innovation now, for me, I keep using this word, is becoming almost a threat to game developers. I have a feeling they don't want to innovate as much because of this weird time we're living in games. Look at Battle Royale games with Fortnite and stuff like that. You could argue with me all day long that they're innovating. They've added vehicles in Fortnite. They're always constantly changing the map. But for me, innovation comes down to the mechanics, how you play, the graphics, stuff like that. Not just, oh, look, I can fly a plane now, The core concepts of Fortnite are still there with the building, and I get that. But however, now I think game developers are seeing gamers as being content with that now. They're happy if the game doesn't change that much. And when game developers want to innovate, they get almost scrutinized for doing that, and they don't see the return on investment as they should do. For instance, look at the new Assassin's Creed. That game, when I watch it online, it blew me out of the park because they added RPG elements, in-depth characters, a huge map for you to explore. To completely change the Assassin's Creed, overhauled the mechanics from block, counter, block, counter, block, counter attack to almost fun, fluid combat, as well as, making parkour great again and other elements that a lot of Assassin's Creed fans are happy about. But, you don't see a lot of gaming channels or game reviewers such as IGN rant and rave about that. You don't see in a lot of top 10 games, only in a few channels. And that's really worrying for me because that means now the next Assassin's Creed might have to strip all that, which made it great, and go back to basics solely because a majority of fan base would like that to go back again, even though that minority who played this new Assassin's Creed will stick their hands up and say, or their hidden blades, and say, no, they were good games. They were good for the series. They took the game into a right path. We haven't seen that since Black Flag. Carry on doing what you're doing, please. But that's how it's going now. For instance, a game that always gets called like mediocre of duty, aka Call of Duty, always gets done for being criticized for not having that much innovation to it. But when it does innovate, it gets scrutinized, which I never understand, because once the fan base and the critics are like, Call of Duty, you need to change, you need to change with the modes, it's all the same. But when they do change, for instance, when we saw the drastic change in Black Ops 3, which a lot of fans wanted and a lot of fans were eager to see, it got a lot of hate, it got a lot of resistance to change almost. And people didn't buy as much as, say, Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 2. And that's because they didn't like it. And then we saw with World War 2, they went back to boots on the ground gameplay. And even then, it got scrutinized for not innovating that well. And, you could look at that because they added, microtransactions and whatnot. But people still didn't like it. And I feel that is stuck in almost innovation hell. Do you try and innovate some more? Do you add more modes? Do you go with the crowd? Or do you go back to the Call of Duty style that made you famous? And we'll see that with the new Modern Warfare. To answer a lot of people's questions, if they stayed that long to watch this, about Injustice going over it, if you compare Injustice 1 to Injustice 2, for me that is the definition of innovation in gaming, because they changed that so much. It is almost like the definition of overhaul, from the gameplay right to the modes you can do, right from the graphics and the facial animations. They look like two different games. And that worked really well for them because fans took to it. I bet there was more Injustice 2 players than there were Injustice players. And to credit NetherRealm, they've carried on with that. They're always innovating. They've done that again with new Mortal Kombat 11. So, credit to them. But for me, I just want to start this because I want to get a conversation going. For me, I feel like innovation is the key for any game developer to make a successful game. However, now it's almost like they're stuck on this narrow path where all they're seeing is just, I need to make it like this so people buy it. I need to make it like that, and they're almost being scrutinized. I keep using this word, scrutinized, for changing the game because a minor fan base might affect the majority of a fan base. I feel like a lot of game developers and are feeling like the game critics are too harsh on them. We've seen that a lot. You know, IGN are critical over any game that tries to be different now, and so does GameSpot and others like that, to be honest. And that's the problem. That is, what can game developers do now? Do they just keep on making the same mesh? Are we going to see every game almost become a sports game now, where it's just going to be a 2.0 update? I don't want to see that. I don't want to live in a world like that when my games are just the same every year. So that's what I mean. Innovation needs to be a crucial element in games now. So if you like this video, please subscribe and share. Appreciate it so much, and I'd love to hit a K subscribers before the end of the month. So please keep sharing my videos, keep watching if you can, and thank you so much.